Hello and welcome to Patriots Stadium for today's girls soccer matchup that features the Old Tappan Golden Knights and your Wayne Hills Patriots. Alongside Jason Hook, I am Noah Sandler as we bring you this matchup. The Patriots girls soccer team has a record of 5-0-1 going into tonight, and Old Tappan has a record of 3-1-2. Hills has a really good team this year that will hopefully continue to do great things that could lead them to the playoffs. Now, Jason, who is your key player for tonight?
My key player for tonight is Sophia Bradley, the sophomore forward for the team. She's got 11 goals and 2 assists on the season. She was already nominated for Player of the Week this year, and she was nominated once or twice before last year as a freshman. So she's an amazing player to watch. You know, we've been watching her for these past 2 years, and she's done an amazing job, and I can't wait to see what she can do this year.
Yeah, I mean, she's a really great player. I mean, we're hoping that she's going to go D1. She's only a sophomore. She has 2 goals. She's averaging around 2 goals a game. You said 11 goals and 2 assists, which is just great, great numbers that will hopefully continue throughout this year and into next year and the year after.
Pretty close matchup here as the Patriots Wayne Hills are 5-1, as Old Tappan is 3-2. Very evenly matched teams. We've seen that a lot in these soccer games. You know, the teams, despite record, you know, they go back and forth a lot in these games, and that's something I can see going on this game as well.
Yeah, I mean, last year this Hills team was great. They made it to the playoffs. They made it through, I think, 2 rounds in the playoffs. So they've already looked great this year. They still don't have a loss. I mean, there's some other great key players for Hills. Mia Lombardi with 3 goals. We got Sydney Chesson with 2, Sophia Kearney with 2, and a few other players with 2 and 1 as well. And then for this Old Tappan team, just by looking at their stat sheet, their star player is Natalie Carrill with 4 goals and with 7 goals and 4 assists on this year. So she's definitely one of their top players, and she's only a junior. She's a forward, so that's going to be who we're looking out for from the Golden Knights, and Sophia Bradley's our key player from the Patriots. As we see these Hills coming out onto the field, and we're just waiting for the Golden Knights.
2 other great players that I just noticed were on here. Mackenzie Ward and Janelle Lasario, goalkeepers for their respective teams, have started in each game so far this season and have been showing off, a great season so far. Lasario with 20 saves and Mackenzie Ward with 44 saves, really showing off, that reaction time. A great goalkeeper to, when she's on the field.
Yeah, and something that I noticed as I was looking at the Hill stat sheet, they only have 4 goals against them throughout the season so far. Through the 6 games, they've scored 26 and only have 4 against them, which is a great stat. And then Old Tappan has scored 16, and they have 5 against them. These 2 teams aren't in the same division, so this is a non-divisional matchup. As we see this game about to get started, Sophia Bradley at midfield.
Patriots will have the first touch of the game.
Just waiting for the whistle from the officials. And we're off. This game is underway. That's passed back to Sadrowski and over around the defense to the far side of the field. Sydney Chesson with the ball now. Passing it into Season Tone, and that ball goes out of bounds.
Off to a quick start here for Hills as they already pushed the ball forward. As you saw, Sydney Chesson really showing off the footwork, getting past that defender. Unfortunately, it just couldn't work for her as the ball goes to the other team.
And Ward kicks it to about midfield. Here's the Hills defense with the ball and turns it over, but Hills gets possession back again. It's passed ahead. Here's Sophia Bradley with the ball. Bradley passes into the corner to Weltman. Weltman centers it. And there is the Golden Knights defense. Here's Ava Osback with the ball. Bae Kazan over there at about midfield. Sophia Bradley again. Bradley kicks it in. The Golden Knights defense is there. Here's Weltman. Weltman right there. And that is cleared by the defense. It's back to Lasario. Here's Goodwin with the ball. Now Bradley. Whistle's blown. Here's Weltman. And that ball is out of bounds on Tappan. That's passed in. Season Tone with the ball. Here's Kirill. Ball goes out of bounds. That was Sadrowski there. Will be Tappan ball. Riley passing it in. And now Bradley. Bradley down the field, centering it. Intended for Chesson over there in the middle. But Mackenzie Ward is there to pick it up. Ward kicks it in. Here's Season Tone. Whistle's blown. And that'll be a Hills ball. Bradley. Bradley takes a shot. But Ward is there to easily make the save.
A bit of a deeper shot there by Bradley. She took that around the 23-yard line.
And that ball is out of bounds on Bradley. Now Connell's passing it in. Now will be Hill's ball. And that'll be Alessandra Sadrowski to pass it in. Passes it over to Bradley. Here's Weltman. Season Tone with the ball. And here's Chesson. And Chesson there with the goalie. And that is cleared out of the way by number 10, Tripati for Tappan. Now, that is passed all the way back to the goalie, Lasario. Here's Osback. Now on the far side of the field. It's Goodwin. Pass to the middle to Season Tone. There's Bae Kazan. Now that's centered. And the whistle is blown.
Looked like a pretty nice look there from Chesson. Unfortunately, the referee will call an offsides there, as Chesson's really been aggressive going for that ball. She had a chance to score as Mackenzie Ward just barely wrapped it up. You saw she was kind of weaving around those two defenders, trying to get the ball at any cost.
Clune kicks it in. Back and forth on the far side of the field. And that was Old Tappan with the ball. But Osbach was there to break it up. Now it'll be Goodwin to pass it in. Now that ball goes out of bounds.
A lot of close play here. I mean, first 5 minutes of this half, we saw the ball a lot on the hillside, and now, they're pushing it over. Old Tappan being a little bit more aggressive, shoving it over to the other side of the field.
Here's Bradley trying to pass. That's Clune over there. Bradley kicks it in over to Weltman. And that was kicked out of bounds. And Weltman will pass it in. It's over to Bradley. And here's Weltman. Bradley able to regain possession with some nice moves there. And takes a shot that goes wide. With 31:50 to go in the first half.
Fortunately, that one a bit wide, right in between the goal and her possible intended target there. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get it. I mean, she had amazing footwork on that play, able to, get in and out of each defender as they came after. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for her in the end.
Now that's passed in. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Patriots ball. Past the season tone. And that goes out of bounds. It will be a Golden Knights ball now. Passed in. Ball goes out of bounds, and the ref will call it a ball to Old Tappan. Passed in deep. Following it is Osbach. And that's passed over to Lasario. Megan Weiss with the ball now. Now that's center to Bradley, who hands it off. And now here's Bradley following it. But the goalie was there to break that up. And now Weltman centers it again. Season Tone takes a shot, but that's saved by Ward.
Now, if Ward didn't come in to stop Bradley there, that play would have actually been ended, as it would have been an offsides on Bradley. So luckily she did come in, and the play got to keep going. Unfortunately there, a missed opportunity on an open shot.
Now Weiss passes it over to Bakazan. Back to Weiss. Weiss passes it in. But Ward is there to easily scoop it up. With 28:50 to go in the first half. Now that's kicked in by Ward. Whistle's blown. Not sure what the call was there. That will be called a handball. The season tone will kick it. Again, it will be Hill's ball. It's passed back to Sidrowski. Sidrowski to Osbach. Back to season tone. Now on the far end of the field. That's kept in. Center to Bradley. Looking for a handball there. But that's kicked out of bounds by Weltman. Weltman able to keep it in. Passed it over to Sidrowski. Then to Osbach. Now here's Bradley. Bradley to Weiss. Here's Weltman. And Weiss takes a shot, but Ward is there to knock that away. 26:19 to go in the first half.
Ward just barely reached that, and unfortunately, she couldn't get to it. Hill's got a lucky shot there, as Ward wasn't fast enough to keep up with the ball. And now a corner kick, hopefully putting them in position for a goal.
Now Bradley takes a shot. Ward able to take care of it. Good win. Over to season tone. Now to Weiss. Weiss passes it to Weltman. Weltman centered that for Chesson, but Ward was there to pick it up. That was Morrissey there. Now it'll be number 4, Emily Clune, to kick it. Clune passes it deep in. But Losario's there to pick it up. 24-27 to go in the first half. Passed over to season tone. Good win now with the ball on the far sideline, but that goes to Capelman. out of bounds, and that will be a Hills ball. Bradley now. Weiss. But now the Golden Knights have possession. Now here's Weltman on the near sideline. Now Chesson has it. That was kicked by Season Tone, but blocked there by the defender. Now Weltman again. Weltman there, able to keep possession. Kind of pushed away by Morrissey. And now Bayakazan takes a weak shot there that Ward is able to handle. Here's Osbach, who passes it back to Lasario. Lasario over to Goodwin. Goodwin looking for another opportunity to get that ball down the field, and that goes out of bounds. It will be an Ultapan ball.
Ultapan starting to be a little bit more aggressive here, pushing the ball to the Hills side. Hills defenders really starting to, focus more.
It will be an Ultapan corner kick. Over there is Brooke Farrington. Farrington kicks it in. And that will go wide of the goal. Goodwin trying to get it deeper down the field. Now here's Season Tone. Season Tone to Bayakazan. And now finds Weltman on the opposite side of the field. Weltman trying to take it for herself for a little bit. Weltman passes it in. Intended for Chesson, but that ball goes out of bounds. Be a goalie kick by Ward.
Again, these Hills forwards are great at, weaving in and out, getting away from those defenders, coming after them. Unfortunately, when it comes to them getting closer to the goal, they kind of seems like they get a little bit nervous and, they start to mess up a lot more.
Now Ward kicks it in. Season Tone is there. But Ultapan kicks it all the way down for Osbach, looking to take care of it. She passes it over to Lasario, and that ball is just kicked out of bounds. Now Riley passes it in. Connell. And now that's passed all the way back to Ward. Here's Goodwin. And that ball goes all the way to the far corner of the field. And now Osbach just passes it over to Lasario. Here's Weltman. Weltman looking for Bradley there, but Bradley's unable to get possession. Sadrowski. That was to Bayakazan. Nice kick there over to Weiss. Now Bradley with some nice moves there against the defender. Bradley's taking it for herself. Bradley's still trying to find something to do with it. And now here's Weiss. Weiss with an open shot. She takes that shot, but Ward is there.
Great 180 spin there from Weiss. Unfortunately, that kick is very hard to do, especially right after the spin. She took just another second to center herself. I mean, it's easier to make the shot, but that defender's coming in a lot closer, and it's really hard to make shots like those.
Here's Goodwin on the far end of the field. Passes it to Bay Kazan. Bay Kazan looking for an open Hills player. Finds Goodwin again. Back over to Bay Kazan. Now, that is number 14, Sidrowski, with the ball, who passes it to about midfield. Now here's Bradley again. And Bradley finds Weltman. Weltman centers it. That was intended for Chesson, but the defense was there. Osbach is there to pass it back to Lasario to deal with it. Now Osbach to Weltman. Weltman to Weiss. Back to Weltman on the near side of the field. Looking for Chesson there, but the defender was there to break up that pass. Now Weiss again. Weiss to Bay Kazan. Bay Kazan down the field. And that ball is kicked out of bounds with 7:16 to go in the first half. 17-12, excuse me, that was. Now that's passed in by Old Tappan. Bay Kazan with the ball. Bay Kazan looking for an open Hills player. Now here's Bradley. And that's Bradley over the season tone. And now Bradley takes a high shot through the goalpost there.
Really high there. That's the second shot that I've seen that went just so far over the goal. First one from Lily Weltman. I mean, it's hard to control the ball, but, when you're kicking it that high, you really got to, focus on where it's going.
Yeah, she had a wide open shot there, but wasn't able to score on that opportunity. That ball goes out of bounds. A little bit of miscommunication there between Bradley and Weltman, and that will be an Old Tappan ball. Here's Goodwin. Bay Kazan over to Weiss. Now Bradley. And now here's Weltman. Weltman looking in the center there, but the defense was there. Weltman finds Bradley now. Bradley trying to get through those defenders with some nice moves there. And now Weltman intending to center it, but the defense was there to break that up. Here's Bay Kazan. Bay Kazan is knocked down there. There's Osbach. And now Weiss. Goodwin now. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Golden Knights ball.
The defenses for both of these teams have been amazing so far. I mean, Ava Osbach for the Patriots has been hustling back and forth between midfield and the defensive end. And this Old Tappan team has been great at stopping, these great Hills shooters from scoring the ball.
Whistle's blown. That will be a Hills ball. Believe that will be Bradley over there on the kick. And that's kicked in. And there was Weltman there looking to get a shot, and that ball goes just wide of the net with 13:23 to go in the first half.
I mean, those shots are always hard when you got basically the entirety of both teams clumped up together in one circle. It's really hard to, get a shot off. It's hard to move around in general. So, those things are going to be very difficult for either team.
Passed in there. Season Tone on the ball. Season Tone looking for an open Hills player. Season Tone gets the ball back. Looking for Bradley there. That was broken up by the defense. O's back. And now that's over to the goalie, Mackenzie Ward, the junior. $12:10 to go in the first half. And now here's Weltman. And that will be out of bounds on Ultapan. It will be a Hills ball. Now that's passed in. And it goes out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball. Passed over to Bradley. Now here's Weiss. Bradley with some nice moves there. And Sophia Bradley passes it in. And now here's Weltman. Weltman again, trying to set something up here. Now Bradley with a shot, but Ward is there to take care of it.
I mean, Ward really just had to stand there, to catch that one. She's been doing great so far on the season with 44 saves, which is almost 3 times the amount of goals they've scored as a team this season.
Now here's Weltman. Weltman centers it to Peterson. Now Osbach at about midfield. Now Megan Weiss with the ball. Passes it over to Weltman. Now Sophia Bradley again. Hills has been looking great in terms of their kind of communication on the field, in terms of when someone's going in a certain direction, another person should be going in the other, just to kind of cover the whole field, especially on offense, to try to set some things up. This is definitely something that they're working on in practice in order to set up plays and get some shots on goal. Now, Kearney And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be an Old Tappan ball with 9:02 to go in the first half.
I mean, you see a lot of that with, a bunch of these Hill sports teams. Their teamwork is really what sets them apart from other high schools. Really working together to get those wins in.
Now here's Osbach, the defender on the far side of the field. Kearney. Now Bradley. Bradley takes a shot, and that's another one that goes high over the goal.
Once those Hills forwards, they get closer to the goal, they start to, shoot the ball a little bit too hard. Another one that's really overshot as that one goes through the goalposts. I mean, they really got to focus on, keeping it lower to the ground as, when they're kicking it way too high, they're just giving the other team a free possession.
Here's Peterson now. Peterson to Season Tone. Now Season Tone taking it down the field. That's passed over. And the shot was taken by Bradley that was stopped by the defender. Now Golden. Golden is into the game. Now here's Bradley. Bradley trying to center it there, but defense was able to kick that all the way down the field. This is the first time in quite a few minutes that we've seen the ball go onto the hillside of the field, as Losario's there to take care of it with 6:42 to go in the first half.
Once again, Osbach really hustling back to get the ball before that Old Tappan forward can get to it.
And now taking a shot, and that is a goal.
That one was by Sophia Kearney. That is her third goal on the season, as that'll put Hills up 1-0.
Yep, that was number 3, Sophia Kearney, the junior, with 6:29 to go in the first half. Now here's Bradley.
Just over 6 minutes to play in the first half.
And that is picked up by Ward.
Number 3, Sophia Kearney. 6 minutes remaining.
Here's Peterson. And that will go out of bounds. It will be an Old Tappan ball now with 5:47 to go in the first half. Now it'll be Goodwin to pass it in. Actually, it will be number 12 for Hills. We don't have her number on our roster. That was broken up by the defender. tonight at Hills is Kicks for a Cause, a charity for Crohn's Disease and Colitis Foundation. They're taking donations, as well as everyone here can pay $5 to kick a shot against Coach Ademi. Yeah, so at halftime today, anyone who donated $5 can take a shot against Coach Ademi, who's one of the coaches here for this Hills team. And that is stopped by Lasario. With just about 3:45 to go in the first half. And Lasario passes it over to Goodwin. That's not a season tone. Kept in bounds there. Carney on the ball. Bradley now. Dara Golden now. Golden passes it over to Weiss. Back to Golden. Here's Osbach with the ball. Now, Season Tone. Season Tone looking for an open shot, and here's Golden. Golden centers it. Bradley's able to pick that up. Bradley tries to take that for herself with some nice moves there, but the defender was there to break that up. Here's Dara Golden again.
And at this time, anyone participating in our halftime competition should head over to the gate that's closest to the snack stand.
Sophia Peterson now, and that is Weiss with the ball with about 1.5 minutes to go in the first half. And that's over to Golden. Golden looking to pass that to Bradley, but that was intercepted by number 15, Olivia Connell, for Old Tappan. Now here's Golden. And Carney was offsides with about 40 seconds to go in the first half. About 20 seconds to go in the first half here. Ball is out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball as the clock is winding down with about 10. And that will do it for the first half here.
And at the end of the first half,
Well, that's the end of the first half with the Sophia Carney goal. Hills up 1-0. Don't go anywhere. Second half action when we come back, and we'll have some analysis on the first half.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Positano Pizza, the finest Italian cuisine and pizzeria. Show us your Wayne Hill student ID to get 2 slices of pizza or a bowl of pasta, plus a drink for only $5.
And now welcome back to Patriot Stadium as we get ready to start off the second half here. Hills up 1-0. Sophia Carney on the goal, assisted by Season Tone. That will be Golden Knights to start off with the ball here as Hills started off in the first half.
I mean, started off a little bit slow early on in that first half, and then, things started to pick up. Hills kept that ball going on that old Tappan side. They kept pushing it, kept being aggressive, and eventually it worked out for them. Season Tone had an amazing pass there to Carney, set him up for an almost automatic goal there, and it's going to put them up as they're going into the second half.
We're now underway here at Patriot Stadium, switching sides at this halftime. Passed over to Sadrowski. Here's Weiss. Back on the defense. That's back to Lasario. Now. Here's Carney with the ball. Peterson. Over to Golden. That ball goes out of bounds. It will be Darrell Golden passing it in to Sophia Bradley. Now here's Carney. Definitely seeing Gold Tappan making a little bit more of an effort here to get it into the Hill zone and try to get some shots on there. They really haven't gotten too many shots so far in this game. They're looking to do so in the second half.
I mean, early on in that first half, they were playing great defense. Later on, they started to get sloppy, something that I believe their coach must have talked about, as they seem to be picking up the pace again.
Congratulations to Jeff Golden, this evening's winner of the halftime competition. Jeff, you can head over to the Balloons to receive your prize from the representative from the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Congratulations.
This will be Lasario to kick it in. The goalie kick. Now Sophia Bradley. Bradley passing it deep into the corner there. Chasing after it is Golden, but she won't be able to catch up to that ball.
Fortunately, that hustle there from Golden wasn't really enough. We've seen a lot of these players on the Hills team really showing off that hustling. Especially those defenders. Getting back and forth between the midfield and onto the defensive end to help out Lasario. Stop some shots from going in.
What a collision there. Lasario and an Old Tappan player got into a tough hit there. Lasario still down. That was along with number 19, Abigail Dennis. Able to get back up. We'll see if she's going to stay in the game. 13:07 to go in the second half. She is going to come out of the game, and incoming is the sophomore backup goalie, Danielle Iannelli.
Fortunate outcome there for Lasario. She started in all 7 of these games so far for Hills. Very unfortunate that she took that fall. Iannelli, a very trustworthy player to be in goal, and I know for a fact that she'll definitely help this team out.
On the near side of the field, whistle's blown. And now it will be Clune to kick it in. That's Clune. And that shot is wide. 35-25 to go in the second half. And looks like Lasario will be coming back in for Iannelli. And now here's Carney chasing after it. And Carney passes it over to Weiss. That's broken up by the defense. And now Julia Riley with the ball, but she kicks it out of bounds. It will now be Goodwin to pass it in.
That was great ball movement that we just saw there from Hills. A lot of back and forth, but they were still able to, push the ball up the field. Unfortunately, couldn't get there.
And that ball is just kept in there, and at least attempted to be kept in there by Riley, but that ball goes out of bounds. It's a Hills ball. Staying in. Osbach is able to keep it in, passes it back to Lasario. Riley keeps it in. That ball goes out of bounds. Goodwin now passes it in. They're going to call that a ball to Oltapan. It looked like it was out on Oltapan, so that was Morrissey along with Season Tone there. And now it will be a Hills ball. 33:08 to go in the second half. Now, Carney down on the near side of the field, but that is taken care of and kicked out of bounds by number 4, Emily Clune. Bradley passes across field. That was for Golden. Knocked down was Megan Weiss there, but she seems to be okay and able to get up.
very aggressive, hustling back, trying to get the ball, trying to get it to keep it on their side. An amazing job by Megan Weiss by stopping any fast break from that Old Tappan player.
Now Megan Weiss on the ball. It is a Hills ball. And that will be, I believe, Golden on the opposite side of the field to pass it in. And now it's a ball for the Golden Knights. And now it's a ball for Hills again. Sadrowski on the excuse me, that's not Sadrowski, that's Season Tone on the ball. Now Weiss. Back to Sadrowski. And all the way across the field. Carney. Over to Sophia Bradley. Bradley centers it. Now, Bradley with some nice ball movement. Defense able to take care of it. And that's Golden over there. Ball goes out of bounds. It will be Old Tappan ball on the goalie kick.
Once again, this Hills team, showing off what they did early on in that first half, keeping the ball on Old Tappan's side, pushing that goalie, pushing the defense, being as aggressive as possible, kind of scaring that defense away, and that's how they've been able to, get as close to the goal as possible.
By Kazan on the ball. Now it's Season Tone, but that's picked up by Old Tappan. Riley kicks it all the way in. Dennis is there for Old Tappan, and that will be a Hills ball with 29:17 to go in the second half.
O's back once again, showing off that aggression on defense. It's what's really been helping out this Hills team. Old Tappan's barely gotten any shots off on the goalie, and that's why these Patriots defense has been amazing so far.
Now here's Sophia Bradley. Centers it to Peterson. Peterson passes it in. And that will be offsides on Wayne Hills. That was Dara Golden who was offsides.
What looked like an amazing look for the Patriots, what could have ended in a high chance of a goal, unfortunately is called back.
.28-22 to go in the second half. It's a Golden Knights ball on the opposite side of the field. Now that's taken in. But Sadrowski there attempting to break it up. And that pass goes all the way to the opposite side of the field and out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball.
These Golden Knights players seem to be, tiring out really quick, as we're not even halfway through the second half, and they've always seemed to be really out of it. I mean, they really need to pick up the pace if they want to tie this game and potentially take the lead.
Shot taken there by Morrissey, but nothing that Lacero Losario can't handle. Losario in a dangerous situation there, but she's able to take care of it with a nice move. And now here is Goodwin on the near side of the field. Ball goes out of bounds, but it will be a Hills ball.
Losario really took that hit like a champ. I mean, she was out for maybe 2 minutes. She came back in, and she looks good as new.
Goodwin with the ball now. Goodwin passes it in, but the defender's there to stop it. Carney over to Golden. Peterson looking for an open season tone, but isn't able to find her. And now coming up the field is the Ultimate Golden Knights. Chasing it after it was Osbach along with Dennis. Now here's Bradley. And she takes a shot, but that goes just wide to the right of the goal.
So Sophia Bradley looking for that 12th goal of the season, unfortunately just wide. I mean, she had a great look there, but once she got to that goalie, I mean, you see a defender coming right at you, it's really going to be hard to keep that shot on target. Unfortunately, no good for her as the score stays 1-0.
Back towards the defense. Goodwin able to take care of it and kick it away. That ball is kept in bounds. Sophia Bradley. That ball goes out of bounds.
Once again, an amazing offensive push here from the Patriots team. Showing, that old Tappan team that they're aggressive. They will do whatever it takes to push the ball and try to get that goal.
And now Old Tappan. But Goodwin kicks it out of bounds.
Seems like every time Old Tappan gets a great shot at, getting a quick fast break, those Hills defenders are very quick to shut them down, as you saw on this play right now.
Now here's Riley for Old Tappan to pass it in. She found an open Farrington, but that goes out of bounds. Riley again. It is a Hills ball. Goodwin passes it in. Not sure who that was intended for, but Old Tappan able to get possession as Weiss gains it back. That ball went just out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball with 22:47 to go in the second half. That was a nice opportunity there by Old Tappan, but Losario's there to break it up along with the defense.
Once again, Carissa Goodwin, an amazing job on the defensive end. Right when she's about to, wind up for that shot, it is just denied by the tandem of Goodwin and Losario, both working together to stop that ball from going anywhere near the net.
And this will be a corner kick by Farrington for Old Tappan. And that ball is in. Broken up by the defense, and that is kicked away. Carney on the ball. Chasing after is Lombardi. But Mackenzie Ward just scoops it right up. Goodwin over to Lombardi. Now Bradley on the ball. And Carney. Bradley with some nice moves there, looking for an opportunity. Passes it over to Dara Golden. Now Lombardi. Lombardi passes it in. And shot was taken over there. That was unsuccessful. That was number 23, Sophia Peterson, on that shot there. That goes wide with 20:35 to go in the second half.
That was a great cross by Lombardi. Unfortunately, a little bit of an awkward landing spot. Seems like it hit Peterson around the stomach area. That's really hard to control, especially from a kick by Lombardi, crossing it at an angle.
Mia Lombardi on the ball. Passes it in towards the middle. And now here's Carney looking to get an opportunity there, but Ward was there to kick it away. O's back now. Lombardi. That ball goes out of bounds. It will be number 20, Mia Lombardi, to pass it in. As we're just waiting for a substitution. Coming out of the game is Sophia Carney. And coming in now is Sydney Chesson. Chasing after it there was Chesson, but the defense was there. That ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball.
Bringing in Chesson was a great idea. She started off the game, so she's a usual starter for this team. She's a great player, and, you want someone like that on the field to make sure that Old Tappan doesn't get anything easy.
Seasondone passes it over. And now Weiss trying to get the ball away from the defender, and she successfully does. Now Mia Lombardi on the ball. Lombardi passes it in, but the defense was there. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Golden Knights ball with 18:28 to go in the second half. That's passed in there by Forsetti. Sydney Chesson on the ball now. And that is kicked out of bounds. It will be Lombardi to pass it in. Ball goes out of bounds. Lombardi again. Bradley with some nice moves. Pushed over there. And a foul is called.
A lot of players on the field starting to look a little bit tired. I mean, it's halfway through the second half. As you know, the clock is winding down, as we finish up the second half. They're starting to get a little bit fatigued, and they're really going to watch that, as that's a weak spot that Old Tappan can really, focus on and attack.
It'll be Bradley here on the kick. That's passed in, and takes a shot, and that's a goal! That was number 6, Megan Weiss on the goal. Megan Weiss, the sophomore.
That'll be Weiss's second goal so far this season, and the second goal for this Wayne Hills team so far, as they extend this lead, making it a lot more tough for this Old Tappan team to come back.
And that ball is kicked out of bounds. $16:15 to go in the second half.
16-10 remaining in the second half. Wayne Hills now with a 2-0 lead. Goal came from number 6, Megan Weiss.
Now here's Lombardi passing it deep into Chesson. Chesson finds Peterson. Peterson takes a shot, but Ward is there to break that up.
Great shot there by Peterson. Unfortunately, it is saved by Ward. Peterson, one of the great sophomores on this team, alongside Bradley. You got Weiss, who just scored. A lot of these younger players are doing amazing things for this team.
Lombardi. And Lombardi kicks it out of bounds. More substitutions now. Old Tappan will have 2 players coming in and 2 players going out. Passed in now.
Those players in for Old Tappan are number 8, Catherine Kim, and number 5, Noelle Forcelati. And out for them is number 13, Brooke Farrington, and number 23, Julia Riley.
Emily Clue now to kick it in. It's passed over to the opposite side of the field. Taking a shot there was number 8, Catherine Kim. But nothing that Lasario can't handle with 13:47 to go in the second half. Hills with a 2-0 lead. Now here's Weiss on the ball. Now Lombardi passes it over, and that ball goes out of bounds.
A lot of great ball movement back and forth between Lombardi and Peterson there. Unfortunately, it couldn't work out for them. But here they are, retaining possession once again off of that old Tappan turnover.
It'll be Lombardi to pass it in. And now here's Lombardi on the ball. Lombardi tries to take a shot and aims towards the center, but Ward able to make that catch with 12:04 to go in the second half.
Ward going into this game had 44 saves already on the season, really racking up that total as she's had an insane amount of saves so far as this Hills team has been taking shot after shot after shot on her.
O's back on the ball. Now here's Lombardi. Now Sophia Bradley takes a shot, and that's a goal! What a shot there by Sophia Bradley, the all-star of this team, right into the top right corner of this goal with 11:28 to go in the second half to make it a 3-0 lead.
Bradley has been dominating for this team since her freshman year last year. She shot that from about the 15-yard line, just hit the top right corner of the goal. Amazing curve on that one, showing off the skill of her shot. I mean, she's just an amazing player. That is her 12th goal of the season and the 3rd for Wayne Hills.
Minutes, 10 seconds remain in the second half. Wayne Hills goal coming from number 24, Sophia Bradley. Patriots with a 3-0 lead.
Serio passes it in over to Lombardi. Lombardi passing it deep down the side. Chasing after it is Bradley, but knocked out of the way and kicked out of bounds by number 4, Emily Clune.
Bradley showing up that speed, chasing down the ball. An amazing kind of jack-of-all-trades type player. She's got that accuracy, she's got the power, and she's got the speed, as you saw in that last play.
Ward there to make that save. Osbach passes it over to her fellow defender, Alessandra Sidrowski. Here's Goodwin on the ball. Over to Lombardi. Lombardi finds Peterson. And now Bradley with some nice moves. Bradley takes a shot, and that is saved by Ward.
Once again, the ball goes right to Ward. She barely has to move as she gets an easy save there.
Bradley kicks it all the way in. Chasing after it is Weltman. Weltman will be able to get there in time. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will remain a Hills ball.
Great chase down there by Weltman. I mean, it was almost impossible to reach that as far as we could tell. But, she chased that one down and she just barely caught it before it went out of bounds. Ended up stopping it, keeping the play alive.
8:05 to go in the second half here. Hills with a 3-0 lead. That ball is kicked all the way down to the Hills side of the field. Back to Lasario. Whistle's blown. There is an injured player down on the field. Can't quite tell who that is.
Oh, that was a deliberate elbow. That was a deliberate elbow. That was a deliberate elbow. I see it on the replay. That's a deliberate elbow. Oh. That was intentional. It was. I just saw it. I went back to see it on the replay. Watch. Intentional. She literally extended her elbow after she kicked the ball.
Looking to see.
He went in for the elbow. She kicked the ball. She no need to touch the bed. Zero need to touch the bed. Zero need. Oh yeah, that's fine.
The player who is down on the other side of the field has gotten up.
I can't get a number.
Still don't know who that was.
It's a single digit number.
I believe that may have been number 14, Alessandra Sidrowski. .741 to go in the second half as play is just about to resume. Passed over to Lombardi. That is kicked out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball. Goodwin will be able to get that ball. Kept in bounds on the far side of the field. And Weiss passes it back. Here's Peterson. Megan Weiss on the ball and over to Goodwin. Over in the far corner of the field, there's Lombardi. Lombardi centers it. Pass to Bradley. Bradley kicks a shot that goes wide to the right with 5:50 to go in the second half.
Bradley really had great footwork on that one as, she was kind of being covered as she received that one. threw a little in and out to, get past that defender. It worked, and unfortunately, a bit of an off-balance shot, and that one went far too wide.
Brooke Ackerman was on the ball there. And now that's kicked all the way in. Chased after by Weltman. Centers. Bradley looking to make a nice shot there right in front, but is unable to convert with 4:53 to go in the second half. Good win on the ball. But Kazan able to maintain possession as Morrissey for Old Tappan was knocked down. Lombardi passes it in. Over to Weiss. Nice pass there. That's center to Chesson. Chesson to Lombardi. Lombardi takes a shot, but Ward is able to handle it. With 3:43 to go in the second half.
Looks like Bradley took a bit of a fall there. She is up, but she was just grabbing her arm.
Yeah, that's not the first time she's gotten hit today, but she seems to be pretty tough and handling it well. It's past to Weiss. Now Bradley on the ball. To Bay, Kazan in the corner. Was able to keep it in. Nice move there by Bay Kazan. Still with possession of the ball. And that's passed all the way to the far side of the field. That was Peterson there who was able to keep it in. That ball goes out of bounds. And the whistle's blown, and a yellow card was called. I'm not sure who that was against. .242 to go in the second half here. Followed by Ackerman for Old Tappan, looking to at least get one goal before this game expires. Weltman passes it down the field. Chesson on the ball. Lombardi passes it back to Osbach. And Sophia Bradley on the ball. Keeps it for herself. Shot was taken there by number 8, Bea Kazan. And that shot goes wide to the right as we have 1:36 to go in the second half.
Another shot that just goes wide there. I mean, game is kind of slowing down here as there's under a minute 30 to go. But, those off-balance shots are being taken a lot more instead of, running the clock, which a lot of teams do. They're still trying to score. They're still trying to keep scoring these goals here.
1:07 to go in the second half. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball. It's now we're under a minute. That ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Golden Knights ball. 35 seconds to go in the second half.
Clock just hit past a minute, and it looks like Old Tappan's going to have the ball.
And under 10 seconds to go. And that will do it here at Patriot Stadium in a 3-0 win with the goals by Carney, Weiss, and Bradley. And in a great game here tonight here at Wayne Hills. Jason, what are your thoughts on the way this game has gone?
Started off a little bit slow. First half there was only one goal, but they really turned it around. Those two sophomores, Megan Weiss and Sophia Bradley, had two great goals. Bradley had an insane curving goal from the corner, which was amazing to watch. They've really shown off that they are two stars on this team, and they really came to play in that second half.
Yep, great game here by Hills. And that about wraps things up here at Patriot Stadium. Once again, the final score, Hills winning 3-0. For Jason Hook, I am Noah Sandler, and we will see you here next time on Wayne Hills TV.